Hi there and welcome back. So look what I found under my base, an Amethyst geode. And as you can see, I've decorated the place with some copper bulbs, fully oxidized, and oh, what is this? This is the blue nether tree. And originally I was just going to use the plank because, you know, you get 4 plank blocks for each log and you get like 2 slabs for each block. But yeah, this just looked too good. And next time, remind me to show you on Vibrant Visuals because it looks even better. It's one of the few blocks that do actually look better under Vibrant Visuals because I've had some issues with that. And overall, I think Vibrant Visuals looks a little bit plasticky. So yeah, I've filled this with water. And if I just show you underneath, I can break the right block. Down here, we have a conduit, which is allowing us to breathe. So the conduit is the heart of the sea with 8 nautilus shells, and then you surround it by this cage with prismarine related blocks, and voila, we have night vision, we have water breathing, we have all the wonderful things. And I just got a little bit stuck there. Let me just grab those planks and throw them back down. And yeah, if you're wondering why I filled this water, it's just the easiest way to travel around and look for the fully grown amethyst, what are they called? Clusters. So I'm currently 1 off a stack. So give me a minute while I just find 1 more. And yeah, I have been using Silk Touch, which is why we're getting the cluster rather than the shards, and I'll explain why in a minute. And here we go. So if I just make sure I'm not pointing at any of the whatever these are called, because you do not want to break these. Once these break, they're gone. So I've been very careful not to. But yeah, let's go up and I'll show you what we do with these now. So why, I hear you ask, are we collecting them as the clusters instead of the shards? Well, with my fortune-free pickaxe, let's see. Okay, so we had 1 stack. Let's see how many we get. And look at that, we got nearly 9 stacks. So that is why we collect them as clusters, because it saves us a ninth. Yeah, it uses up a 9th of the inventory space. Now you might be asking, why have we got this? Well, if you take, where are we? This is what we're making. Here we go. If you take glass, grab as much of that as we can, and mix it with them, you make tinted glass. You notice you need quite a lot of them to make it, so it's something like every 2 shards make 1 tinted glass. Oh, the Enderman destroying my landscaping. And yeah, if we just put this down, we'll see how much we've collected. Yeah, it takes a very long time, but you see, we're collecting all this tinted glass. Now, why do we need tinted glass? Well, let's go over and find out. So you might remember our villager trading hall up there, along with the spawner. Now we've got the elytra and rockets, we can of course just fly straight up. And you'll remember this ugly mess. So in here, I already put down a little bit of tinted glass and a door, is where the spawner is. So what we're going to do is we're going to tidy this up and have it surrounded by tinted glass. And we're also going to use some tough bricks to try and make it look a little bit nicer. And yeah, I apologise for all the villager noises. You might notice that we have actually got almost... I've got like one space left for a villager. And I've left that open just so I can get to the beds and things. But yeah, we've expanded the number of villagers. And this is basically the maximum. And this is what we want. So we've got all our books, or most of them. There's a couple of guys who need to be swapped. We've got these guys who I realise give us a source of redstone, lapis, and glowstone, which is just amazing. And then we've got like our armor guys and weapon guys, and then all of these guys who do our pumpkin and melon trades, and he just needs to sleep for another night, so he goes back down to 1. So yeah, we get like 2 stacks of emeralds out of these guys. They're trading, oh, we use up, no, we get like 4 stacks of emeralds for those guys. So that's amazing. Anyway, let's see if we can change this up and make it look, ooh, yep, a little bit nicer. As you can see, we're starting to transform the place. I've got the base of it basically down. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult because I'm going to have to break these blocks and therefore replace all of the signs and the coral fans, which if I haven't already mentioned, the coral fans are so that the mobs think there's a full block there and they'll just walk over it. They won't be like, oh no, there's a fall there, I'm going to try and avoid that, because that's what they'll do otherwise. But yeah, this design does mean I have to extend it 1, so these need to go, and I'll need to replace them, and I will need 1 extra sign and 1 extra coral fan, and we actually have the pale wood now, so we might replace it with that. I'm not sure, because I'm not using like a light block anymore, I'm using a dark block. So would the pale block be the right one, or would we be better off using, say, dark oak? I'll have to think about that, maybe try each to see which looks better, but yeah, a few changes. And then of course the water's going to go down here, and we're going to have glass from this level, and it should look amazing. But yeah, still a lot of blocks to replace, and I am extending it out a bit, which doesn't do anything for the spawner because this is the maximum range that it can spawn mobs in anyway, but it will just look a bit nicer because it's going to kind of round it off the design we already had on the outside. This is basically the shape we were always going to go for. And yeah, I need to work out where we're moving these chests and things, because they do not fit. So, you know, this one's got emeralds and melons and random rubbish in. Oh God. So that will go over here somewhere, and then we've got like potion supplies. They'll go over here because that's where these guys are all now. And then we've got like paper and stuff and some books. They'll go over here somewhere. Still not sure where, but we'll try and work something out that looks nice and fits in with the aesthetic. And we're done. Look at this. Much better than that pile of stone. We have the spawner all set out. Expanded a little bit. Again, doesn't make any difference to the how much we get. But look at this. We have a copper bulb, and I did realise after I built it that the oxidized bulb isn't as bright as the other bulbs, and I wasn't sure if it would work, but clearly it's working. So all I have to do is flick the switch, turns off, and bang, we get the zombies. And then I just flick it again, turns back on, no more zombies. And yeah, they are sticking a bit. They don't think it's the hole. Yeah, there you go. So they won't stay there for long, so the second they turn to move, they will just fall down the hole. And as always, they come down here, they die here. Yeah, the anvil is now on the ground just to make it a little bit easier to reach that bottom chest. I am planning, once we get the copper golem, to automate that system. So that'll be fun. Need to dig out a bit more underground. And yeah, I decided that we'd put the chests, because you know, we need the chests for random books and things. I decided to put them in the wall with the ender chest over here, crafting table here. And yeah, doesn't this look nice? I think it all turned out very well. I still need to work out this, because this is just to like the underground bit, which again I need to do some mining out. And through here I have some industrial sized sugarcane and pumpkin and melon farms for all the trading needs. The pumpkins and melons are basically the only thing we need. Oh yeah, that will be a enderman, because we have 4. Yeah, look at the gravel block. We have 4 iron golems, so they are destroying any endermen that teleport in here, because they're the only mobs that we should get in here. Somehow I did get a pig in here while I was building this. I don't know how. I'm guessing there was like a small cave that there was a hole that it came through, because I can't imagine how else it would have spawned, because it needs like a dirt block exposed to sunlight to spawn otherwise. So yeah. Oh yeah, and these guys are a bit of a pain, because when I was digging this out I accidentally let them in the middle, but luckily they're too big to fall down the hole, or they were just lucky and didn't fall down the hole, I'm not sure. So I was able to get them out and then build a wall around. But yeah, doesn't this look nice? I've also done a bit of tidying up above ground on the hill, just to get rid of as many of the caves as I can. But yeah, I think this place is pretty much done. Again, I want to sort out the storage once we get the copper golem, but we've got to wait for that. But yeah, doesn't this place look nice? And yeah, some of it did come out up here. When I was building that, it was exposed, so I had to bury it. And also there's like a block missing. Yeah, it's probably an enderman. But yeah, overall, I think this place looks very, very nice. And I am very happy with it. I guess... Oh, God. You know, still some... Probably leave that cave alone. I want to keep most of the nature as it is. Hang on, I've got some dirt on me. What are we doing? There we go. Possibly do something about this, because this is still a bit natural. So we could do with plotting that entrance out. Not that we use this entrance anymore, really, because we just fly up, but it's good to have a ground entrance. But yeah, I think that is it for this episode. And next episode, I do have another use for the tinted glass. I don't know if I'll get around to it next episode, but we might make a start. But yeah, I think it's time to start sorting out some AFK farms, just so I can start getting the things like gunpowder and iron and all that on a larger scale. Just because while we can get it individually, it does take a lot of time, and it would be a lot easier if I just sat down for 10 minutes and was able to get a stack. And so yeah. Till next time, I've been Chad Baker, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.